Lonzo Ball trade could backfire on the Cavaliers at the worst possible time. The Cleveland Cavaliers believe they found a missing piece in Lonzo Ball. On paper, the 27-year-old guard seems like the exact type of player who could push them closer to an NBA title, a tall playmaker with defensive instincts, an improving jump shot, and the ability to complement stars like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. But beneath the excitement lies a major concern: Lonzo Ball's health. And if history is any indication, the Cavaliers may have gambled their championship hopes on a player who has rarely been available when it matters most. A career derailed by injuries. Ball's talent has never been the issue. Coming out of UCLA, he was seen as one of the most gifted passers of his generation. At 6'6", he had the size to defend multiple positions, and over the years he developed into a reliable three-point shooter. His style of play has always elevated teammates, making him a rare point guard who doesn't need to dominate the ball to make an impact. Yet, for all the promise, Ball has never completed a full season. His closest attempt came in 2020, during his time with the New Orleans Pelicans, but even then, he missed the final game of the season in the NBA bubble. Since entering the league, he has never appeared in more than 63 games in a single campaign. The past 4 years have been especially brutal. Between persistent knee troubles and wrist injuries, Ball has suited up for just 70 games combined. At one point, many wondered if he would ever return to the court after missing 2 entire seasons with knee complications. For a player who should now be entering the prime of his career, the setbacks have been devastating. Cleveland's high-stakes gamble. The Cavaliers enter this season with one goal: compete for a championship. After a 64-win regular season in 2025, expectations were sky-high. But the team's early playoff exit in the second round left fans disappointed and front office leaders searching for answers. That disappointment fueled their pursuit of Lonzo Ball. Cleveland saw him as their version of Alex Caruso, a defensive-minded guard who can space the floor, disrupt opposing offenses, and provide the type of versatility that is invaluable in the postseason. The cost was minimal. Isaac Okoro, the player shipped out in the trade, had been inconsistent during his tenure in Cleveland. While he flashed defensive ability, his offensive shortcomings limited his role, and during the 2025 playoffs, he was mostly a non-factor. Losing him did not sting nearly as much as parting with one of their core stars would have. From that perspective, the move looks like a low-risk, high-reward play, but the reality is far riskier than it appears on the surface. Why the Cavs need Lonzo now more than ever? Injuries have already complicated Cleveland's rotation. With Max Strus sidelined to start the season, the Cavs lack wing depth and perimeter defense. Ball, if healthy, is expected to absorb many of those minutes. His ability to push the pace, knock down open shots, and guard multiple positions makes him a natural fit for the role Strus temporarily leaves behind. But what happens if Ball once again finds himself unavailable? The Cavaliers, despite their strong roster, have little room for error. Mitchell and Garland remain their offensive engines, but the backcourt duo has struggled defensively against elite playoff competition. Ball's presence was supposed to balance that equation. Without him, the Cavs risk falling back into the same trap that doomed them last postseason: a talented, high-scoring roster that lacks enough defensive versatility to slow down the best teams in the East. The weight of history. The skepticism around Ball isn't unfair. His time with the Chicago Bulls is a clear example of what Cleveland now risks. Chicago loved his game and saw him as the perfect piece to maximize Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. For a brief stretch in 2021-22, it worked. The Bulls surged to the top of the Eastern Conference standings with Ball orchestrating the offense and anchoring the defense. Then came the injuries. Ball's knee issues never went away, and despite multiple surgeries, he never returned to the court for Chicago. The Bulls were left frustrated, unable to replicate the same success without him. The Cavaliers are now stepping into similar territory. Ball should be in the heart of his prime, but his body continues to betray him. If the trend continues, Cleveland could find themselves without the very player they hope would help elevate them beyond the second round. A smaller role, a slimmer chance. There is one glimmer of hope. Unlike in Chicago, where Ball was asked to shoulder a significant workload, the Cavaliers don't need him to be their primary playmaker. With Garland and Mitchell commanding the offense, Ball can be used in a more controlled role off the bench. In theory, this reduced responsibility could help him stay healthier. He won't need to log 35 minutes a night or guard the opposing team's best scorer every possession. Instead, he can focus on short bursts of impact, providing defense, facilitating the offense, and knocking down shots when needed. Still, the concern remains. A smaller role might reduce the strain, but it doesn't erase the years of wear and tear that have already taken their toll. the risk of a disastrous ending at the end of the day. This trade will be judged by what happens in the postseason. Regular season wins won't be enough for a Cavaliers team with championship aspirations. Cleveland stars will need support, especially on defense, and Ball is supposed to be that support piece. But if history is any guide, Ball may not even be available when the Cavs need him most. Fans have 8 seasons of evidence that suggests he won't finish the year healthy. Betting against that track record feels like wishful thinking. The Cavaliers wanted to add size, defense, and versatility in their backcourt. Lonzo Ball certainly checks those boxes if he plays. If not, Cleveland may be left regretting the move, holding on to a player whose body simply cannot hold up to the demands of an NBA season. Conclusion: hope or heartbreak? There's no denying that Lonzo Ball is a uniquely talented player. His IQ, passing, and defensive instincts are rare in today's game. When he's on the court, he makes his teammates better and raises the ceiling of his team. But the Cavaliers aren't just playing for highlights or exciting stretches of basketball. They are chasing a title, and for that, availability matters more than potential. Cleveland fans can dream that this will finally be the year Ball finishes strong, but history suggests otherwise. If the past repeats itself, the Cavaliers could once again find themselves short-handed in the playoffs, and this trade, instead of being a clever low-cost gamble, could turn into the very mistake that keeps them from hoisting the trophy.